Hey, what's up guys? Nick from Fit College. In my last video, I told you a little bit about the VMO muscle, and in particular, how I blew mine out, and I gave you a couple of activities that I had to perform during my rehab that you guys can use as well if you were to find yourself in a similar situation. What I also discussed was that the VMO, or at least the characteristics that I experienced with my particular injury, mirrored that of an anterior cruciate ligament tear. Football, rugby, rugby league, netball, basketball, American football, to name a few, are all sports where you are at, I guess, a higher chance of the risk for an anterior cruciate tear. Why? Because when you compete in those sports, it is very lower limb dominant. There's a lot of jumps, there's a lot of cuts and change of direction, there's a lot of sprinting, and there is a lot of reacting to external stimulus, whether that be an opponent or the ball. Maybe you have to evade a referee. The chances that you could tear your anterior cruciate ligament are substantially high. Now, I also told you that I had to learn a little bit about the VMO. Through my studies, I learned a little bit about anterior cruciate ligament tears, and then my brother went and tore his. He required surgery to his anterior cruciate ligament, and I know for some of you watching that probably resonates. Maybe you too have, or maybe you know somebody who has, torn their anterior cruciate ligament. It requires extensive rehab. So I found myself in a situation where I needed to apply my learnings. I had to share those with my brother. A good buddy of mine helped because we studied the same thing, which was great. What we found though was that my brother, who was working with a particular physio and a particular trainer, was actually being given the wrong advice, or at least conflicting advice to what I was learning theoretically at university. Fortunately, I was able to step in and advise my brother on what he can and cannot do. You see, it's already a nasty injury. You can have tons of time off as a result. You might have a son yourself who has designs on maybe getting a scholarship to play rugby in the States. Anterior cruciate ligament tear means loss of scholarship. It's as simple as that. So it is devastating, not just to the body physically, but emotionally, because of what it might mean to the individual who has suffered the injury. So what do? You learn a little bit about it, you learn what you can do with your body, you learn how to condition yourself so that you don't actually have the tear in the first place. Why? Because a higher number of ACL tears actually come devoid of contact. That just means that we're not fit enough for the rigors of our sport. It doesn't mean that I've been hit by an opponent. It means that I've just caved because I am too fatigued, or I'm not strong enough or fit enough to compete at my sport. Have I perked your interest up a little bit? Perhaps in the next video I'll discuss another injury and what sport it applies, and maybe I'll give you another couple of exercise tips regarding how you can rehab or potentially prehab to prevent such things from happening to you. I'll see you next time.